The massive crystal windows of the Galactic Council chamber reflected the light of three suns, casting rainbow patterns across the worried faces of the gathered representatives. High Counselor Marcus stood at the central podium, his gray fingers trembling as he read the report for the third time. "Impossible," he whispered, but the data didn't lie. In the far reaches of the galaxy's spiral arm, a new species had achieved faster than light travel. "Show us the footage again," Marcus commanded, his voice echoing through the chamber. The holographic display flickered to life, showing a sleek vessel emerging from what the Council's scientists called impossible space. The ship's design was unlike anything they had seen before. No wasted space, no decorative elements, just pure function. The Council members watched in silence as the human vessel approached their monitoring station. Its energy readings were off the charts, yet according to their scans, it used technology that should have been far too primitive for space travel. "How are they doing this?" asked one of the junior council members. "Their power systems appear to be based on simple fusion, but they're achieving efficiency levels that shouldn't be possible." Marcus tapped his console, bringing up more data. "Earth," he read aloud. "They call their planet Earth. A Class 3 world with high gravity and extreme weather patterns. It should have taken them another 1,000 years to reach this level of technology." The chamber erupted in worried whispers. A species that could achieve such results with basic technology was dangerous. They didn't follow the normal rules of technological progression that had guided the galaxy for millennia. "We have reports from our observation posts," continued Marcus. "They've been watching these humans for the past 50 years. Look at this footage." The hologram changed to show scenes from Earth's recent history. The humans were constantly building, innovating, and improving. While other species took centuries to refine their technologies, humans made major breakthroughs every few years. "They're not following the sacred path of progress," said Council Member Robert, his eyes wide with concern. "They're jumping steps, combining technologies in ways we never considered. This isn't natural." Marcus nodded grimly. Their first computers were primitive machines of silicon and electricity. But instead of following the normal progression to quantum systems, they found ways to make their simple computers work faster than our best technology. They're doing the same thing with their spacecraft. The council chamber grew quiet as the implications sank in. For millions of years, the Galactic Council had guided the development of younger species, ensuring they followed the proper path to advancement. But these humans were different. They took basic concepts and pushed them far beyond their theoretical limits. "What do we do?" asked Robert. "If we let them continue, they could destabilize the entire galaxy's technological balance." Marcus stood straighter, his decision made. "We must contain this threat before it spreads. I propose an immediate show of force. We'll send our most advanced ships to Earth. They must be made to understand that there is only one correct path to progress." The vote was unanimous. Within hours, the Council's finest diplomatic fleet was preparing to depart. Their ships gleamed with the most advanced technology the galaxy had to offer, each one representing thousands of years of careful advancement along the sacred path. But as the fleet departed, Marcus couldn't shake a feeling of unease. The last footage from Earth showed them testing new variations of their drive systems, making improvements that should have taken decades in just a few weeks. "May the Ancient Ones protect us," he murmured, watching the fleet disappear into hyperspace. "We might have just awakened something we don't understand." Little did Marcus know, but his worst fears were about to come true. The humans weren't just another emerging species. They were about to change everything the Council thought they knew about the universe. Admiral James Walker stood on the bridge of the Earth defense ship Determination, watching the massive alien fleet appear at the edge of their solar system. 20 years of preparing for first contact hadn't really prepared him for this moment. The alien ships were beautiful, covered in glowing patterns that seemed more artistic than functional. "Multiple ships detected, sir," reported his sensor officer. "Their energy readings are strange. It's like they're purposely making their ships complex." Walker nodded, studying the tactical display. The Council fleet was arranged in a perfect geometric pattern, something that any first-year cadet would know was tactically unsound. "Open a channel," he ordered. "Let's see what they want." The main screen flickered to life, showing an alien bridge that looked more like a palace throne room. The Council commander stood there in ornate robes, looking down at them with an expression Walker couldn't quite read. "Primitive humans," the alien spoke through their translation systems. "We are the Galactic Council's first contact fleet. Your unauthorized development of faster-than-light travel has caught our attention." Walker kept his face neutral, though his hand tightened on his chair's armrest. "Unauthorized. I wasn't aware we needed permission to advance our technology. I am Admiral Walker of Earth's Defense Fleet. We welcome peaceful contact with other civilizations." The alien commander's expression hardened. "Your species has violated the sacred path of progress. Your technology is crude, yet you achieve results that should be impossible. You will share your developments with the Council for proper evaluation." "I'm afraid that's not possible," Walker replied calmly. "Earth's technological achievements are not for sale or surrender. We're happy to discuss trade agreements or cultural exchange." "You misunderstand." The alien cut him off. "This is not a request. Your species must be contained before you destabilize the galaxy. Observe." One of the Council ships fired a bright beam at Earth's orbital research station, Hope. The station, home to 300 civilian scientists, erupted in a ball of fire. Walker's bridge crew gasped in horror, but their training kicked in immediately. "Battle stations," Walker ordered, his voice cold as ice. "Get me Earth Command." The Council commander smiled. "Now you understand your position. Surrender your technological secrets, and we will be merciful." Walker stood up slowly. "You just murdered 300 innocent people to make a point. Let me show you why that was the biggest mistake your Council has ever made." He turned to his tactical officer. "Target their command ship. Show them what primitive technology can do." The Determination's main gun hummed to life. It wasn't beautiful or complex, just a simple railgun scaled up to fire projectiles at near-light speed. The Council ships, with all their advanced shields and energy weapons, never expected to face something so basic. The projectile tore through the command ship's shields like they weren't there, leaving a clean hole through its center. The Council fleet's perfect formation broke apart in confusion. "Impossible," the Council commander screamed before his image disappeared. "Our shields are based on technology thousands of years more advanced than yours." "All ships, combat pattern Delta," Walker commanded. Earth's small fleet of 10 ships moved with practiced precision, their simple but devastating weapons firing with deadly accuracy. "Launch our fighter wings." The Council fleet, despite outnumbering Earth's ships 20-1, found themselves in chaos. Their complex shields couldn't stop Earth's primitive, kinetic weapons. Their perfect formations fell apart against fighters that used basic thrust and inertia in ways their computers couldn't predict. "Sir," his communications officer called out, "we're getting signals from Earth Command. All defense platforms are online. The Council fleet is being boxed in." Walker watched as Earth's orbital defense platforms, disguised as simple communication satellites, revealed their true nature. "Send a message to the Council fleet," he ordered. "Tell them they have one chance to surrender and face justice for their actions. After that, we show them exactly how primitive we can be." The Council fleet's response would determine not just the outcome of this battle, but the future of human relations with the galaxy. Either way, the Council would learn that humanity's primitive technology was far more dangerous than they could have imagined. The emergency meeting of the Galactic Council was nothing short of chaos. High Counselor Marcus watched the holographic replay of the battle for the 10th time, his hands shaking as he gripped the podium. "Half our fleet," he whispered, "lost to weapons that shouldn't even work." The chamber's displays showed the aftermath. Council ships with clean holes punched through their hulls, their advanced shields useless against simple projectiles moving at near-light speed. The humans hadn't just defended themselves, they had revealed that the Council's technological superiority was an illusion. "We've discovered why their ships are so effective," reported the chief science officer. "They don't rely on shield harmonics or energy fields. They built their hulls using layers of simple materials in patterns we never considered. Our scans showed primitive metal alloys, but the arrangement makes them nearly indestructible." In Earth orbit, Admiral Walker stood in a briefing room aboard the Determination, addressing commanders from across Earth's defense fleet via hologram. The room was plain, functional, with only a simple table and basic displays. Nothing like the ornate council ships. "They expected us to follow their rules of warfare," Walker said, pointing to the tactical display. "They thought we'd try to match their technology. Instead, we did what humans have always done. We found a better way." The display showed Earth's defense network. What the Council had dismissed as primitive satellites were actually part of an interconnected web of defensive platforms. Each one was simple, but together they created an impenetrable defense grid. "Their entire civilization is built on complexity," Walker continued. "They add layers of technology, making everything more elaborate. We went the opposite way, making things simpler, more efficient, more effective." Back in the council chamber, the reports kept getting worse. More scans of Earth's technology revealed the truth they had missed. Humans hadn't just stumbled upon faster-than-light travel. They had been preparing for space warfare for centuries. "Look at their history," one analyst explained. "Every time they faced a problem, they found the simplest solution and then perfected it. Their first planes were simple wooden frames with cloth wings. Within 50 years, they were breaking the sound barrier. They don't wait for technology to develop along the proper path. They force it to work better through sheer determination." The council members watched new footage of Earth's ships in action. The vessels moved in ways that defied their understanding of physics, using basic principles in combinations they had never imagined. While council ships relied on complex gravitational fields for maneuvering, Earth's ships used simple thrust vectors and inertia with incredible precision. "Their power systems are the most frightening part," the science officer continued. "We use quantum singularity drives, carefully controlled through millions of calculations. They took basic fusion reactors and found ways to make them more efficient than anything we've built. They're not bound by our assumptions about what's possible." Admiral Walker's briefing concluded with a plan that made his commander smile. "The Council thinks they understand warfare because they've been fighting the same way for thousands of years. They expect complex strategies, elaborate maneuvers. We'll show them how humans fight." Earth's response began within hours. Small, fast ships appeared from hidden bases across the solar system. Each vessel was a testament to human engineering. No wasted space, no unnecessary systems, just pure function focused on a single purpose. The Council had awakened a giant that had been quietly preparing for this moment for generations. "They're launching more ships," Marcus reported to the Council, his voice filled with dread. "But these are different. The designs are even simpler than before. They're not even trying to copy our technology. They're building weapons we can't understand because we never thought to make things so basic." The galaxy was about to learn an important lesson. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology. It was their ability to take simple ideas and push them beyond their limits. The Council had started this fight expecting to contain a primitive species. Instead, they had unleashed a force they couldn't comprehend. Operation Righteous Response began at dawn, Earth time. Admiral Walker stood on the bridge of the Determination, watching as 500 human ships emerged from their hidden positions in the asteroid belt. Each ship was different, a testament to humanity's habit of constant innovation rather than standardized design. "All ships report ready, sir," his communications officer reported. The Council's defensive line is holding position at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. Walker nodded, studying the tactical display. The Council had brought their entire Third Fleet, 2,000 ships arranged in textbook-perfect formations. Their ships glowed with energy fields and complex shield patterns. In contrast, the human fleet looked almost crude, their hulls dark and simple. "Send the message," Walker ordered. One last chance for them to withdraw and face justice for their attack on our research station. The Council Admiral's response came quickly. You cannot hope to defeat us. Our civilization has ruled the stars for 1,000,000 years. Your primitive fleet will be destroyed. Walker smiled. All ships, execute battle plan Echo. Show them how primitive fights. The human fleet split into smaller groups, each moving in seemingly random patterns. The Council fleet's formation turned to track them, their targeting computers struggling to predict the erratic movements. They're using standard Council combat algorithms, Walker's tactical officer reported. Just like we expected. Their computers can't handle unpredictability. The first strike came from an unexpected direction. Hidden inside what looked like normal ice comets, human kinetic weapons platforms had been waiting. They launched simple tungsten rods at near-light speed, tearing through the Council fleet's rear lines. Impossible. The Council Admiral's voice crackled over the comm. Those were just comets. Our scans showed no technology. That's the problem with over-reliance on sensors, Walker replied calmly. Sometimes the simplest hiding place is the best. All ships, begin Phase 2. The human fleet suddenly changed tactics. Instead of engaging at long range with energy weapons like the Council expected, they charged straight in. Council gunners, trained to fight ships that stayed at proper combat distances, found themselves facing vessels that got too close for their main weapons to track. They're insane, a Council commander shouted. They'll destroy themselves getting that close. But the human ships knew exactly what they were doing. At point-blank range, their simple kinetic weapons were devastating. Council shields, designed to stop energy weapons and missiles, couldn't handle the basic physics of solid projectiles moving at relativistic speeds. Report from Strike Group 7, Walker's comm officer called out. They'd broken through the Council's left flank. Their ships can't turn fast enough to track our movements. The Council fleet's perfect formation had devolved into chaos. Their complex targeting systems, designed to calculate elaborate firing solutions, couldn't handle ships that used basic Newtonian physics in creative ways. Human vessels spun end over end, used asteroid fields as cover, and executed maneuvers that the Council's computers classified as impossible. Sir, the tactical officer reported with a grin. They're still trying to use their standard battle formations. Should we show them Formation Delta? Walker nodded. Let's show them how Earth fights. The human fleet suddenly shifted again. Ships paired up, one protecting the other while it fired. It was a technique as old as ancient Earth naval warfare, adapted for space. The Council fleet, trained to fight according to their million-year-old doctrine, had no counter for such basic yet effective tactics. Within hours, it was over. The mighty Third Fleet of the Galactic Council was in ruins, defeated by a force half its size using technology they had dismissed as primitive. Send word to Earth Command, Walker ordered. The path to Council space is open. It's time for Phase 3. Let's show them what happens when they mistake simplicity for weakness. As the human fleet regrouped and prepared to push into Council territory, Walker thought about the irony. The Council had spent millennia making their technology more complex, while humans had focused on making simple things work better. In the end, that was all the difference they needed. The counter-strike had begun, and the galaxy was about to learn that humanity's primitive approach to warfare was more dangerous than any advanced technology. The great doors of the Council chamber burst open as Ambassador Thomas Reed walked in unannounced. The human diplomat wore a simple black suit, a stark contrast to the elaborate robes of the Council members. The chamber, usually filled with the quiet hum of energy fields and gravity generators, fell silent. How dare you enter without permission? High Counselor Marcus shouted, his gray face turning pale. Guards. The guards didn't move. They had just watched the holographic footage of Earth's fleet destroying the Council's Third Fleet. No one wanted to be the first to confront a human. I think, Reed said calmly, we need to talk about the lies you've been telling the galaxy. Council member Robert, representing one of the younger species, stood up. What lies? The sacred path of progress has guided nothing. Reed interrupted, pulling out a simple data tablet. We found something interesting in the wreckage of your ships. Your technology isn't just needlessly complex, it's deliberately designed to be inefficient. The chamber erupted in shocked whispers. Marcus tried to speak, but Reed continued, his voice carrying across the room. For thousands of years, you forced every new species to follow your sacred path. But it's not about proper development, is it? It's about control. You make them build technology that's beautiful but weak, complex but inefficient, and all along, you've been suppressing anyone who tries to find a better way. On the massive screens around the chamber, data from Earth's analysis began to appear. It showed how Council technology used 1,000 steps to accomplish what could be done in 10. How their ships burned enormous amounts of energy to achieve what human vessels did with simple physics. The Third Fleet didn't just lose a battle, Reed announced. They showed the galaxy that your technological superiority is an illusion. You don't make things complex because it's better. You do it because it keeps everyone dependent on Council guidance. Several Council members from younger species stood up, moving away from the others. They had always wondered why their own scientists' simpler solutions were rejected by Council advisors. You don't understand, Marcus pleaded. We maintain order. Without the sacred path, there would be chaos, each species developing technology in their own way. It would be dangerous. You mean it would be dangerous for your control, Reed corrected. Humanity didn't develop faster than light travel your way. We tried something simpler, and it worked better. How many other species have had brilliant ideas suppressed because they didn't match your sacred path? The chamber's screens now showed human technology. Simple fusion drives that outperformed Council quantum engines, basic kinetic weapons that pierced the most advanced shields, materials and designs that achieve more with less. Member worlds of the Council, Reed addressed the gathered representatives. Earth offers you a choice. Stay with the Council's beautiful but crippled technology, or embrace true innovation. We'll share everything we know. No sacred path, no artificial restrictions, just pure science and the freedom to explore it your own way. The effect was immediate. Dozens of species representatives moved to stand with Reed. They had seen the battle footage. They had watched human ships outmaneuver and outfight the Council's finest using technology that should have been inferior. This is treason, Marcus shouted. The sacred path maintains peace. No, said Council member Robert, joining the growing group around Reed. The sacred path maintains your power, and that power ends today. Reed smiled as more representatives joined them. High Counselor Marcus, Earth doesn't want to rule the galaxy. We just want to break down the walls you've built around scientific progress. Imagine what the galaxy could achieve if every species was free to innovate in their own way. The political landscape of the galaxy was shifting before their eyes. Humanity hadn't just defeated the Council's fleet. They had exposed the lies at the foundation of Council power. And now, species that had been held back for generations were ready to embrace a new way forward. The age of the sacred path was ending. The age of innovation was about to begin. The massive engineering bay of the Earth ship Innovation buzzed with activity. Engineers from 20 different alien species worked side by side with humans, their differences forgotten in their shared excitement over technology. Gone were the ornate robes and complex tools of the Council era. Instead, they wore practical work clothes and used simple, efficient instruments. Captain Lisa Torres watched from the observation deck as a young alien engineer held up a fusion controller no bigger than his hand. Just 3 months ago, his species had been using Council-approved power systems that filled entire rooms. It's amazing, said Representative Robert, now Earth's strongest ally in the reformed galaxy. In just a few months, we've made more progress than we did in the last 1,000 years under Council guidance. Torres nodded, pointing to different workstations around the bay. That's what happens when you let people think for themselves. Look there, The Centauri engineers found a way to improve our radiation shielding using their knowledge of crystalline structures. And over there, the Proxima team developed a new thruster design that combines their atmospheric science with our propulsion theory. The main display screen showed ships from various species being retrofitted across the galaxy. The once ornate vessels were being stripped of their unnecessary components, replaced with simpler, more effective systems based on shared knowledge between Earth and their former Council allies. Report from the Tav City sector, her communications officer called out. Their shipyards have completed the first wave of hybrid vessels. They're reporting 300% improvement in efficiency over their old Council designs. In another part of the galaxy, the last Loyalist Council fleet watched in horror as their former member species unveiled their new capabilities. Ships they had dismissed as inferior now moved with impossible speed and precision, their simple designs hiding revolutionary technology. "How are they advancing so fast?" demanded the Council fleet commander, watching another group of ships defect to the new alliance. "These improvements should take centuries according to the sacred path." The answer was simple: freedom. Without the Council's restrictions, species were combining their unique perspectives with human innovation. Each race brought their own scientific insights, their own way of solving problems. Together, they were rewriting what was possible. Back on the innovation, Torres led Robert to a special project section. "Here's something you'll appreciate," she said, gesturing to a new type of engine. "Your people's understanding of quantum mechanics helped us perfect our fusion drive. It's 10 times more powerful, but uses half the fuel." Robert touched the engine reverently. "All these years, we thought we needed the Council's guidance to advance, but they were holding us back, keeping us from seeing solutions that were right in front of us." The display screen shifted to show the growing network of allied worlds. Where the Council had forced uniformity, now diversity flourished. Each species was developing technology that suited their unique needs and environments. "Message from Earth Command," the communications officer announced. "The Free Systems Coalition Charter has been ratified by 50 former Council worlds. We're officially a united alliance." Torres smiled as she watched more ships arrive at the engineering bay. Each vessel brought new ideas, new perspectives, and new possibilities. The Council's greatest fear had come true. But instead of chaos, the galaxy was experiencing an unprecedented boom of innovation and cooperation. "Look at this," Robert said, showing her a datapad. The Arcturus scientists combined their biological computing with Earth's quantum theory. They've created computers that make the Council's best technology look like children's toys. The old order was crumbling, replaced by something better. Humanity hadn't just defeated the Council. They had shown the galaxy a new way forward, one where progress wasn't controlled by ancient doctrine, but driven by the unlimited potential of free-thinking species working together. The Council thought making things complex made them advanced. Torres said, watching the teens work. "We showed them that true advancement comes from making things work better, not just making them more complicated." The technological revolution was unstoppable now. The game had changed, and the galaxy would never be the same. 1 year after the Council's fall, the newly constructed Galactic Assembly Hall on Earth stood as a testament to the changed universe. Unlike the old Council chamber's elaborate architecture and excessive ornamentation, the Assembly Hall was built with elegant simplicity. Its transparent dome showed the real stars instead of artificial constellations, and its walls were made of simple materials combined in innovative ways. Admiral Walker, now serving as Earth's representative to the Assembly, stood at the main observation window watching ships from 100 different species arrive for the first anniversary gathering. Each vessel reflected its creator's unique approach to technology, some sleek, others angular, all efficient in their own ways. "Quite a change from the old Council fleet formations," Ambassador Reed said, joining him at the window. "Remember how they used to arrange their ships in those perfect geometric patterns?" Walker nodded, pointing to a group of ships that had once belonged to the Council's core worlds. "Look at those. Their own people stripped away all the unnecessary systems once they realized how much power they were wasting. Now they're among our fastest vessels. The assembly hall began to fill with representatives from across the galaxy. Gone were the elaborate robes and artificial status symbols of the Council era, each species now dressed in ways that made sense for their biology and culture. Report from the outer sectors, a young officer announced. The last Council Loyalist stronghold has requested to join the assembly. They're asking for help upgrading their technology. The news brought smiles to many faces. The Council's influence was finally ending, not through force, but because their own people had seen a better way. Assembly members, Reed addressed the gathered representatives, his voice carrying across the simple but effective acoustic design of the hall. 1 year ago, humanity entered the galactic stage. The old Council saw our different approach to technology as a threat. They tried to destroy us, fearing we would bring chaos to their ordered galaxy. He paused, letting his words sink in. Instead, we showed them that progress doesn't have to follow a single path. In 1 year, our combined species have made more technological advances than the Council achieved in 1,000. Not because humans are better, but because we all stopped letting others tell us what was possible. The main display showed images from across the galaxy, shipyards building vessels that combine technologies from multiple species, research stations where different races work together to solve problems, and worlds once held back by Council restrictions, now reaching for the stars in their own unique ways. The Council's greatest fear was chaos, Walker added, stepping forward. But they were wrong. When you let people think freely, they don't create chaos. They create innovation. Every species brings their own perspective, their own solutions. Together, we're stronger than we ever were apart. A holographic display in the center of the hall showed the new map of known space. The rigid borders of the Council era were gone, replaced by overlapping zones of cooperation and trade. Species that had once been restricted to their own sectors now traveled freely, sharing ideas and building relationships. Message from the Terra Nova colony. An officer reported. The first joint species settlement has completed construction. 10 different races living and working together, using technology they developed themselves. The assembly erupted in applause. The Terra Nova project was proof that cooperation worked better than control. Its success showed that different species could work together without the Council's heavy-handed guidance. The galaxy entered a new age, Reed concluded, not because humanity conquered the Council, but because we showed everyone a simple truth. The best path forward is the one you choose for yourself. As the assembly began its session, ships continued to arrive from across the galaxy. Each one represented a species that had broken free from the Council's restrictions, ready to contribute their unique insights to the growing alliance. The age of enforced progress was over. The age of true innovation had begun, and it all started because humanity dared to show the galaxy that sometimes the simplest solution was the best one.